Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Out of four, we are here again. I'm greeting all of you. I love you all. Thank you very much for supporting. You are really supporting us in every angle. We thank you. We appreciate you. We are really grateful. Thank you very much. We appreciate everything you've been doing for us. The encouragement, the comment, the suggestions, the questions. We really love it. Thank you very much. And those of you sharing it, you are doing wonderful job. In fact, you are brave. You are courageous. People are really offended with the message, actually. People are offended. People are boiling. A lot of people are boiling. A lot of people are offended. A lot of people are like there are serious flame burning within them because of these messages. But it's not a fight. If you got something opposite of what we are saying, you bring it. If you got something different, you bring it. It's learning. That is why we say we are in the era of knowing, not in the era of belief. We are in the era of Aquarius. It is the era of knowing, not the era of belief. It is not the era of anything. No, this is not the time. So we are in the era of knowing. Because it is in the era of knowing, we need to tell people, so thank you very much for your braveness. Continue to share it so that people will get to know, people will get the message. And those of us who want to research, those of us who want to go and check behind and see those things that we are talking about, are they like that or not? They can also go and check, ask questions, and see whether what we are saying is like that or not like that. Thank you very much. Thank you once again. We are here. This episode is going to be some kind of sensitive. I think most of our videos are sensitive, yes. I think so. Most of them are sensitive, but I don't know, maybe this one is going to be more sensitive. I don't know, but this is a banger, actually. Why is it a banger? Actually, the topic of this video is supposed to be delayed until we get to the religious teachings, the Islamic one, until we got to the religion itself, how the religion came about, and then we'll start to discuss the law and the rulings and the verdict of the religion. And then after that, we will then chip in this one, because the laws and the verdict of the religion covers what we want to discuss right now. But the reason why I'm jumping to do this before we get there is that I had a little conversation with some sisters, Muslim sisters to be precise, and I think I should do this. So really briefly, I'm going to talk about it briefly, maybe two videos, this one and the following one, and then I'll close that door, and when we get to Islamic religion itself, and then we'll revisit the topic again. What topic are we talking about? What am I going to talk about right now? I'm going to talk about marriage. Is it not funny? Single young man talking about marriage. What do I know about marriage? Single young man. How can I talk about marriage? No. Do not get me wrong. I'm not going to talk about marriage in terms of counseling. How to make your marriage the best one, or how to be a good husband, or how to be a good wife. Trust me, I bet you, I don't have those things. I don't have those skills. I don't have those tips. Left to me, all these marriage counselors and counseling centers should be closed down. Do you notice that, or have you noticed that most of the marriage counselors are the people who suffer in their marriages most? Do you notice that? Have you noticed that? One who said most of the marriage counselors, most of them, especially in penny for almost suffer more. Akwa we are see ono na oye ono akwa we are wajidin ya o ka marriage ho asem na sefo we ye a foreigner or a Steve bibi a na yere feed the chinansan. So, or hear marriage discussions, and as if for. But you're seeing the hierarchy one also any driver or the bodyguard or whatever they said, I don't know. So you see, yeah. So this things. Have you ever watched him talking about relationships? Oh God, it sounds like a god. If not it sounds like a demigod, if not God. In experience of relationship, if I look at what happened to him, I don't have that. I don't know how it is. But honestly speaking, nobody knows anything about marriage until they enter, until they go in, until they start the journey. And experience of marriages varies. So nobody can tell somebody a fixed tips of marriage. This counseling and all these things. Boy, like so this is the thing. So if it is not counseling that I'm talking about, and I'm not here to encourage you to marry, in fact, I can't encourage you to marry because me myself, I'm single. See, me, nobody loves me. I don't have a girlfriend. Nobody loves me. Me, troublemaker. That is just by the way. What about marriage? What am I going to talk about in marriage? Prepare and listen to me attentively. Brethren, I'm talking about one religion to another religion marriage. Yes, and more especially a Muslim marrying a non-Muslim. A Muslim lady marrying a non-Muslim guy. Specifically. Sir Kramonia ba you abe wari obi a wonye kramoni. Sir nipa ne agiu ni ana bibi. Eno ho asem e na ye ka. Adofo, do you realize that this a Muslim lady cannot marry any other person until that person becomes a Muslim has been a problem in Zongo community? Do you know that? Maybe you do not know because you are out of Zongo community. But those of us who are in Zongo community know very well that this is a problem in Zongo community. A lot of our Muslim sisters are in the house and they are old enough and they don't have husbands because of this law. A Muslim lady do not marry, or a Muslim lady cannot marry a non-Muslim unless he does something they call tuba. Unless he tuba. Tuba. The tuba is a corrupt Arabic in Hausa, which is tauba, repentance. I don't want to talk about this because when you call people that they are tuba, it is an insult. But it is happening in Zongo community. When you call people that they are tuba, when people are not born Muslims and they become Muslims and you call them tuba, it's an insult. There is a village on Kasua Road. Immediately after the junction of the villages, immediately after the toll booth, Kasua Road, they call that village Tuba. I think it's a village of my ancestors, my grandparents, Gas. They call it Tuba. I think the whole place belongs to Gas, and majority of them became Muslims. And then because of that, they call them Tuba. Calling someone Tuba is an insult. We will discuss this one day. Now, a Muslim lady cannot marry who is not a Muslim. And when you are talking about a Muslim lady cannot marry who is not a Muslim, you are talking about three categories of people here. One, Christian. Two, a Jew. And these two are known in the Quran as Ahlul Kitab, the people of the book. Islam is assumed. Islamic clerics, Muslim scholars claim that there's a law in Islam that says that a Muslim lady cannot marry Ahlul Kitab, cannot marry a Christian, cannot marry a Jew until this one of these two people who want to marry a Muslim lady become a Muslim. If not, you can't marry a Muslim lady. This is one of the patriarchal injustice. I'll tell you why. I'll prove to you why it is a patriarchal injustice. People lost loved ones. People couldn't get people to propose to them, to marry them again. Some of our sisters are in the house and they are old enough. They don't get married, they don't get people to propose to them just because of this problem. Because for their entire life, the people who propose to them are Christians, and the so-called law in Islam that a Muslim lady cannot marry who is not a Muslim. And these girls, these ladies are not speaking for themselves. You see, this topic will be so important to someone that prioritizes marriage. If you prioritize marriage, this is very important to you. My sister, if you are someone that prioritizes marriage, if marriage is your priority, this is for you. But if you are like me, someone like me, who marriage doesn't concern me that much, marriage is not my priority. Childbirth is not my priority. People like us, we got nothing to do with us. We got no problem, whatever. We don't have time for this. Excuse me, this shit. Whatever happens, we are cool. If that's how you are, if you are mad like me, crazy people like me, who don't see marriage as a priority, who don't see marriage as number one of life, who see marriage as a secondary thing in life, then forget it. This is not for you. But if you are someone that marriage is your priority, then you must take this message very, very important. You are afraid. Our sisters in our communities are afraid to talk about this thing. They are afraid to voice out because the pressure, the incest war, the patriarchal power of our houses is too much. So they can't talk. They are afraid. Who will talk and be like me? So our sisters are afraid. People fear. The fear is too much. The fear has engulfed us that we cannot talk. This is what I'm talking about, the marriage. Now, the Ahlul Kitab, the Jew and Christian is out. And then you have the rest of people. You have traditionalists. You can't marry a Muslim lady until you become a Muslim. Now, my question to you is this. If your Allah want you, the Muslim ladies, to marry only Muslim guys, why didn't your Allah make the whole men in the world Muslims? Question no, I try here. What I say? Did you get the question? If your Allah wanted all the Muslim ladies to marry Muslims, Muslim guys, Muslim men, why didn't your Allah make all the guys, the men in the world Muslims, so that He would save our sisters from this wahala? Question number one. Question number two, my sister, I want to ask you this. Question number two. Look, you have Christian men. You can't marry them until they become Muslims. You have Jews. You can't marry them until they become Muslims. We have Hare Krishna men. We have Hindus. We have Buddhists. We have Sikhs. We have all these people. You can't marry them until they become Muslims. Now, when you put all these people together, these men together, as compared to your Muslim men that you have, are they enough for you? Are Muslim men enough for you, the Muslim ladies in Islamic communities? The Muslim men alone, are they enough? If we were to share all of you to all Muslim men in the world, maybe 2244, do you think Muslim men are enough to get all of you, the Muslim ladies who are up to marriage, 18 and above? Do you think the men in the Islamic community will share you 4-4 for them? Do you think it's not going to be left over? If it's going to be leftover, those leftovers, where are they going to go? This is the thing. Did you see the danger? Did you see? This is it. I mentioned that it is a patriarchal injustice. Bema na eye nipa oba de onka ho. I want to prove to you. I have 2 verses to read from the Quran right now. But one of the verses, I'll revisit the verse and explain the whole thing about the verse, everything surrounding the verse in the next video concerning this Muslim lady must marry a Muslim guy, and if you are not a Muslim and you want to marry a Muslim lady, you have to do that. Ubeka fili, my sister, ubeka. Is it about someone that will take care of you, respect you, and value you, and give you opportunities to be what you are, that you want? Or someone that prays a lot, fasts a lot, go to Hajj a lot, but gives you heart attack and BP? When they tell me kinaushi, the duka, the tada hankali, the yunwa. Ama yafikowa sallah, yafikowa azumi, yafikowa nafila, yafikowa haji. Shi ake so, ko de wanda zai kwantar da hankali ake so. Allah, in ku yi tunani. Da Allah ya san kamar yana son ku aure musulmai, da yayi duniya mu duka musulmai, yayi maza at least, yayi mazan duniya duka musulmai. Ayan ce shi na la kulli shay'in qadir, yana da iko kan komai. Da yayi kowa musulmi mana. I have 2 verses to talk about. One of the verses are the verses that permit a Muslim man to marry a Christian lady or a Jewish lady without making her a Muslim, without making her to be a Muslim, without changing her or reverting her or converting her to Islam. There's a verse in the Quran that permits its Muslim men to marry Christian ladies or Jewish ladies or any other lady, to marry them and let them go to their church, their temple, or wherever, and he goes to the mosque. Islam allows that. But for Muslim lady, you can't do the same. Why? Namiji Muslimi ya ye auri Krista ko Bayahudiya en Jew. Ta je Jew. Ta je church, ta je temple yana sallan shi. Namiji dai shi yana da daman wannan. Mace ita ba ta da daman wannan. Me yasa mace ba ta da daman wannan? Mace ita ba ta da jini. Mace ba ta da feelings. Mace ba ta da hankali. Mace ba ta da tunani. Mace ba ta cancanci wannan ba. Me yasa namiji kai kana da wannan dama? Qur'ani ya ba kai wannan dama ma. Na mace dai Qur'ani bai ba ta wannan dama ba. Me ke bambanta, me ya rage? Me ke bambanta, me ya rage? Why is it that Islam allowed a Muslim man to marry a non-Muslim lady, Christian, Jew, Ahlul Kitab, to go to church? She will be going to her church, she will be going to her temple, and he will go to mosque. It is allowed. But when you, as a lady, Muslim lady, you can't do that unless he become a Muslim before that can be done. Like, seriously. How? What is it? And then, like, how do you obey the saying? Listen to the verse I'm going to read to you right now. The verse is coming from Quran chapter number 5, verse 5. Just briefly. This is what the verse is saying. The verse says, Al-yawma uhilla lakum at-tayyibat. Al-yawma, today, uhilla lakum at-tayyibat. Good things has been made lawful to you. Al-yawma uhilla lakum at-tayyibat. Duk abin kyawawa an halalta muku yau. Looking at the way the verse started, it's like some of this tayyibat was haram. Uhilla, permitted. Today, good things has been permitted to you, has been made lawful for you. Uhilla, from the word halal, one of the verdict terms in Islam. Halal. And the opposite of it is haram. Al-yawma, today, uhilla. This is Quran chapter 5 verse 5, which is Ma'idah, the table spread. Al-yawma, today, uhilla lakum at-tayyibat. Good things has been made lawful to you. 1. وَطَعَامُ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ حِلٌّ لَكُمْ. And the food of those that has been given the book is lawful to you to eat. Ahlul Kitab, niyayama omu manu, Jewfoɔ ne Kristofoɔ mo duane, ɛnɛ nso yɛayɛ ɛno nso halal, yɛayɛ no permissible, lawful, ɛde ama mo, yɛama mo kwan sɛ ɛmu ndi ɔmo duane. This is another problem, but I don't want to talk about this one much because mostly in Christmas festives like those, you see a Christian looking for a Muslim to come and slaughter his goat or a goat or sheep or a fowl or whatever, just because they want Muslims to take it. That if Christians slaughter, they will not take it. Like superiority and inferiority. Like, what is that? Well, Ahlul Kitab and Christians no yes, ya any permissible. Nti akụkọ na ka ho. Ye twama wawe. E ka ho. Verse Quran chapter 5 verse 5. Wa ta'amul ladina utul kitaba halul lakum. Omoduane eye okay, yamam kwan say munbi. Their food has been made lawful to you to eat, Christians and Jews. Wa ta'amukum halul lahum. Sansu na vice versa. Munsu moduane nkramofo moduane nso ye lawful for them. And your food as a Muslim is also lawful for them to eat. Wal musinatu min al muminat. And awariye. Now, here is the point. Awariye. Wal musanat. Any honorable Muslim women are also allowed for you to marry them. Now, if this verse is speaking about Muslim guys or Muslim men marrying Muslim women, I think this point is not that important because a Muslim man marrying a Muslim lady is no news. It's no news. So here, this particular point of the verse is a different thing. Like, this is not what we are talking about. We will talk about this when we get there. You know, we have a whole lot of package for you. From the Sirah, we're moving to Hadith. From Hadith, we're going to move to the Quran. So don't worry, we address these things in a different perspective. But wal musanati min al mu'minat, and also the honorable women from Muslim community has been made permissible to you Muslim to marry. This is no news. It's common. It is happening. Fine, no problem. And then wal musanatu min alladhina utul kitaba min qablikum. And also the honorable women in the people who have been given the book before you are also made lawful for you to marry them, Christians and Jews. So a Muslim man, according to this verse, can marry a Christian lady and she still goes to church. A Muslim man can marry a Jew lady and she can still be going to her synagogue. She can still be going to her temple. But a Muslim lady cannot do the same. Why? Fine. والمحصنات من الذين أوتوا الكتاب من قبلكم إذا آتيتموهن أجورهن, when you give them their due compensation or their dowry. إذا آتيتموهن أجورهن, when you pay their dowries, they can become your wives and yet they will belong to their religions. إذا آتيتموهن أجورهن. And the verse continues to say, Muhsinina, honorable and cherishable ones. Now here, there's some confusion. The verse just switched from talking about women to men. Muhsinina, cherishable ones, honorable men. Gaira musafihina, not those that musafihina. A lot of the translators and exegetes explain it that those that don't shake other women, foreign women, strange women. You know, shaking a woman in Islam is haram, and there was an argument about this some time ago, and they interpreted this verse that those that don't shake strange women, foreign women, or not that. But in actual fact, this musafihina goes beyond that. Just a handshake. A handshake is a problem. Oh no, come on. But that's how some of them interpreted it. Musafihina, gaira mutakhidi akhdan. Those that don't indulge in unlawful relationships which these religions has put in there. Unlawful relationships which these religions has put in there. That's the religions has put in a place. Unlawful relationships. How the religions have drafted it. The Abrahamic religion has laid down those unlawful relationships. And the verse continues to say, فَمَنْ يَكْفُرُ بِالْإِيمَانِ, whoever turn away from faith in Allah, faith in Islam, faith in the religion, whoever turn away, وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ, will be one of the losers on the last day. The point here is, the verse allow a Muslim man to marry a Christian lady and she still remains a Christian. She can still remain a Christian. A Muslim can marry a Jew lady and she can still be a Jew. But a Muslim woman cannot do that. Why? Kungamba kutambaya. Sisters, kungamba kutambaya. Mesa. Kungamba kutambaya. Kuishu. Soro. Ba ku son iri na wai same ku ko? Ba ku son iri na wai same ku. Ba ku son abi ku kamar yadda ake nema na kashe din nan. Ba ku son a kashe ku. Ba ku son a zage ku. Ba ku son a ce kun bar imani. Ba ku ce a ce muku kun kafirta. Ba ku son a ce muku kun zama bid'a. Ba ku son a ce muku kun shiga wuta. Ko ba haka ba? To kin goyino. Kin saura gida. Kin saura gida. Akwai wani cikin rayuwanta Christians da yake zuwa har rana bai kama da yau ba ta samu musulmi ba ta saura za ta shekara 50 da wani abu lafiya. Ina tambaya Allah nan na da iko kan komi tunda ya san yana son ku duka ku aure mazan musulmai ya bai yi duniya duka maza musulmai ba. Now that is the first verse I want to talk about. Now, the second verse is in Quran chapter number 60. Quran chapter number 60, verse 10. That is the center verse that is assumed that some people claim that verse is prohibiting a Muslim lady to marry a non-Muslim until he becomes a Muslim. That is that verse. And that verse will be the verse I'm going to talk about in the next video. But let me read the verse for you. And then the next video, I will tell you everything, the circumstances and the events surrounding the verse. This is what the verse is saying. The verse is in the chapter of Mumtahina, Quran chapter 60. Mumtahina or Mumtahana. The chapter of the examined. The chapter of the examined. Mumtahina. The chapter of the examined. This is what the verse is saying. Verse 10. Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu idha ja'akumul mu'minatu مهاجرات فامتهنوهن الله أعلم بإيمانهن فإن علمتموهن مؤمنات فلا ترجعوهن إلى الكفار لا هن حل لهم ولا هم يحلون لهن وآتوهم ما أنفقوا ولا جناح عليكم أن تنكحوهن إذا آتيتموهن أجورهن ولا تمسكوا بعصم الكوافر واسألوا ما أنفقوا وليسألوا ما أنفقتم. This is the verse. And then the verse continues to say, ذلك حكم الله يحكم بينكم والله عليم حكيم. ذلك حكم الله يحكم بينكم. Say, oh, you who believe, إذا جاءكم المؤمنات, if women of the faith, Muslims, come to you, muhajiratin, come to you from migration, they migrated, the women of faith, immigrant women of faith come to you, famtahinuhun, examine them, test them to see, are they truly faithful ones? Are they truly believers? Allahu a'lamu bi imanihim. For Allah knows their faith. For Allah knows whether they are faithful, they are believers or not. But yet He says, test them. You yaqin. Allahu a'lamu bi imanihim. Fa in alimtumuhunna mu'minatin. If you know, if you out of the examination you confirm and you become certain that they are believers, فَلَا تَرْجِعُوهُنَّ إِلَى الْكُفَّارِ. Don't send them back to Makkah, to their unbelievers' husbands. Kafirai. Mazajin su kafirai da suka bar su suka zo ku koma da su. Don't send them back to their unbelievers, their husbands who are unbelievers, who are not Muslims. فَلَا تَرْجِعُوهُنَّ إِلَى الْكُفَّارِ. لَا هُنَّ حِلٌّ لَهُمْ. Because those women are not lawful for them, for the kafiris, for the infidels, for the non-believers men. وَلَا هُمْ يَحِلُّونَ لَهُنْ. And also the men, the non-believe men, the men that don't have faith in Islam are not also lawful for the women. In other words, the Muslim women are haram for the non-Muslim men, and non-Muslim men are also haram to Muslim women. This is the law. This is the problem. This is what is making some of our sisters being at home up to date, 50 plus, and they don't have husbands. Religion. Now, lahunna hillu lahum wa lahunna lahilluna lahun. And then the verse continued to say, lahunna hillu lahum wa lahum yahilluna lahun wa atuhum ma anfaqu. So pay the non-believe men their dowry, whatever they paid to marry those women. You believers accept the immigrant women who left their non-belief husbands, keep them with you, and pay whatever expenses, whatever the non-belief men spent on the women, pay them, pay their former husbands. So you, the believers, there's no problem. There is no harm in you marrying this woman that left their husbands and came to you. You can marry them because you are Muslims and they are Muslims. So a Muslim can marry a Muslim. When you give them their due compensation. Now this thing that we give to women to marry them has 3 terms in Islam. We have mahar, which is like dowry, and we have ajr, and we have sadaq. All these 3 are not the same thing. If these 3 are not the same thing, what it means is that we have different types of marriages, and Quran confirms it, because these 3 things, ajr is not sadaq, sadaq is not mahar, Go check. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Ajr is not mahar, and mahar is not ajr, and sadak is not ajr, and sadak is not mahar. They are different things. But when you give them their due compensation, you can marry them. وَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْكُمْ أَن تَنكِحُوهُنَّ إِذَا آتَيْتُمُوهُنَّ أُجُورَهُنَّ وَلَا تُمْسِكُوا بِعِصَمِ الْكَوَافِرِ. You, the Muslim men, don't keep bound with non-Muslim women. Break the bound. Nti munso nkramofo no munjai mu non-Muslim wives no. Really? Munjai mu no munko. This is the verse. This is what the verse is saying. Wala tumsiku bi'isami kawafir. Don't hold upon the bond of the non-belief women. Let them go. Wala tumsiku bi'isami kawafir. Was'alu ma anfaqu. Now, these Muslim women that migrate to you, to Medina, that left their husbands, ask their husbands, how much did they spend on those women? Then you pay them. وَلِيَسْأَلُوا مَا أَنْفَقْتُمْ. And those kafiri or non-belief men who also will take you, your wives that are not Muslim, that you left them to go, they should also ask you how much you spend on your wives, and then they will pay you and keep your wife. And this is some kind of exchange of wives, all in the name of religion and belief. وَاسْأَلُوا مَا أَنْفَقُوا وَلِيَسْأَلُوا مَا أَنْفَقْتُمْ ذَلِكُمْ حُكْمُ اللَّهِ. And Quran says that is the judgment of Allah. That is the verdict of Allah. Wallahu, and Allah indeed is Alimun, all-knowing, Hakimun, all-wise. This is the main verse that the rule of a Muslim lady cannot marry a Muslim is based. What really happened? What were the circumstances of this verse? Catch me in the next video on this particular topic, where I bring to you all the issues surrounding this verse, and I break it into pieces. Man, sorry, I'm not being money. I won't check. King Bueno, King Saura. Me, I'll tell you. It is because of this thing I'm telling you. That is why some people are after my head. If you hear me, if you hear that I'm dead today, don't blame anybody. I'll do a video, some pieces that we'll put in together. I'll tell you some people and mention some names and some of the things that transpire. We hear. They sit at their Atai bases and talk. And somebody from the Atai base will look at where you will look for your whereabouts and tell you, look for your number and tell you what some of my own brother is saying. I've been told, I heard everything. I'll mention his name and mention whoever is with him and whatever they are transpiring and whatever they say when they sit to talk. Because of this, they are after my head. My question again to you, my Muslim sister, that you are above 40 and no Muslim is coming and you don't want to marry. If Allah wanted all the Muslim ladies in the world to marry a Muslim man, why didn't Allah make all of us Muslim men? Why didn't Allah make the whole world men Muslims? And until we meet again, I say to you, bye-bye.